Hey folks, Dan Drago here from 25 o'clock. Just want to let you know what's going on with this episode. This is sort of a recreation, a redux of my second live radio stream because it turns out I lost the original files of recording it, which is not the worst thing in the world. So I still wanted to be able to share the music with everybody. So that's what we're going to do here. All this music was originally live streamed April 8th, 2020. And I'm just going to take you through it a couple songs at a time, just old school radio style format. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the music here on 25 o'clock. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the show. My live stream radio number 2, Redux, reconstructed from the ashes. Let's get right into the music right here. Going to start it off with a track from Ross Belanois. It's a song called For Friends from his new record called Where Does the Light Go? This record was supposed to come out this spring, and he was supposed to do a bunch of dates to support its release, but unfortunately that's not happening, as it's not happening for a lot of artists as well. Ross is an amazingly astute pupil of the American Songbook. He's also a very accomplished producer and a guitarist for the face-melting instrumental band Muscle Tough. So let's hear a song from Ross Belanois. The song's called For Friends from his record Where Does the Light Go? Here on 25 o'clock.
We've laughed at the worst and cried at the best of us, and every day we're working hard at raising up the rest of us. How could we have known with every seed that we've sown that every year our friendship just presents another test for us? You are my brother, sister, father, please forgive me for shielding both my eyes from the truth. You are my lover, giver, mother, please forgive me for blaming all my failures on my youth. I've got this feeling that's not worth concealing, 'cause every day I'm keeping tabs on what I've been revealing. A sense of wonder, a sense of joyous joy at the notion that I love you and I'm someone worth believing. You are my brother, sister, father, please forgive me for shielding both my eyes from the truth. You are my lover, giver, mother, please forgive me for blaming all my failures on my youth. If you find me falling, I will hear you calling out to lend a helping hand right to the end. And when we all awaken, I hope that we are taken up and judged by what we all have done for friends. Judged by what we all have done for friends. Judged by what we all have done for friends.
That's Hambone Relay right there with a song called Star Climber. It's from their album Live at 4th on the Farm, which came out earlier this year. Hambone Relay are an instrumental organ-led combo with roots in bands like The Meters, and Medeski, Martin & Wood, and Soul Live, as you obviously heard just there. And Mark and Rob, the two main guys in the band, also have their own podcast. It's called Dude, Check This Out. And I haven't heard much from them on the podcast front recently, so maybe since they can't go out and play, because no one can really go out and play right now, maybe they'll spend a little more time doing that podcast, because I always did enjoy it. And before that, of course, you heard Ross Belenois with a song called For Friends, from his album, Where Does the Light Go? This next cut I got sent to me. I've never met the artist before. Her name is Laura Liscano, and it's a song called Corazon. It's a single that she put out. I've never met her, but I really like this music that she sent me, and I picked this particular track because it's a tight little folk tune, and it's in Spanish. And it has its roots in, obviously, traditional Latin folk music, but from the few songs that I've heard of hers, she definitely makes this stuff her own. She's Colombian-born, and she's been playing around Philly for the last few years, including singing with the Temple University Big Band. So let's hear it. Laura Liscano with a song called Corazon here on 25 O'Clock.
¿Cuántas palabras se quedan en la punta de la lengua, listas a saltar al vacío? ¿Cuántos te quiero y te amo? ¿Cuántos lo siento y te extraño? Nunca llegarán a sus destinos, a sus destinos. Sí, yo estoy aquí, lista para confesar todo lo que no he podido hablar, y tú estás aquí. Quieres escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto. escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto. Cuántas palabras escupimos sin pensar lo que decimos, y en segundos nos herimos. Y aunque es difícil olvidar, el alma nunca va a sanar si no sabemos perdonar, si no sabemos perdonar. Y yo estoy aquí, lista para confesar todo lo que no he podido hablar. Y tú estás aquí, quieres escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto. Quieres escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto. Para confesar todo lo que no he podido hablar. Y tú estás aquí, quieres escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto. Quieres escuchar mis versos, quieres ver mi corazón abierto.
That's an instrumental piece from Pretend Collective. The song's called They Own the Breeze. That's an unreleased demo. Mike Riley of Pretend Collective, he put that band together as a way to get his own songs out after years and years of sort of a gun-for-hire career. He's been the percussionist for bands like Hoots and Hellmouth. His self-titled debut came out last fall on Giving Groove Records, and it's a really remarkable arrangement of songs. He's a great arranger. The songs are mostly piano-led, and they really showcase the type of songwriter he is, which if you've known Mike for many years, maybe more as a session musician, you might not know that was something in his wheelhouse, but it was. And a note on Giving Groove Records, that's a not-for-profit Philadelphia label that donates all the proceeds from record sales to charity of the artist's choice. So, yeah, great tune right there. And before that, you heard Laura Liscano with a song called Corazon. Next up, one of my faves. I love this guy. I love his music. Hawk Tubley and the Ozymandians. It's a song called Hadn't Oughta from their newest EP, Chocolate Maple Squeeze Play. Hawk Tubley is fronted by a guy named George Mastoller, and George has been part of art and indie scenes in Philly and in New York and down south. He's played with Marshall Allen, a Sun Ra, the Reverend Fred Lane, Oteil Burbage, and Philly folk like Andre Villamil and Dave Cope. Andre's a member of the band, and Dave Cope plays with them as well, and Andre produced this record. What I really like about Hawk Tubley's music is that he captures this particular sound of like 80s indie art rock, very DIY. It reminds me of Camper Van Beethoven and kind of the Meat Puppets, but with other wide influences as well. So let's hear this song, Hadn't Oughta, from the album Chocolate Maple Squeeze Play. See, that's fun to say. Hawk Tubley and the Ozymandians here on 25 o'clock.
The music swam around. I don't remember when I saw her, but I remember what she found. Her eyes were red as frisbees. I heard the lightning crash, a storm of perfect fury. The goddess and her wrath. Well, we had not have done it, we did it anyway. The rocket's taking off, there's nothing more to say.
Camp Candle right there with a song called NRT from their EP that came out late last year called If We Had a Pool. Camp Candle is New Ra and Hetepsa, or Mark Cave and Brianna Mills Walker, depending on how you know them. They make very cool, very dreamy pop and electronic music. Reminds me a lot of the 90s chill wave and trip hop, and very arty, very psychedelic. I like that in my dance music, and that's why I'm a Camp Candle fan. Before that, Hawk Tubley and the Ozymandians with Hadn't Oughta from their Chocolate Maple Squeeze play release. Moving on, switching gears a little bit to Sophie Curran with a song she has called Circles. It's a single that she put out this year. Sophie's been spending a lot of time of this isolation holed up at her partner's studio, Rittenhouse Sound. So good for her. She's a trained classical musician, and she found her way into R&B and soul, and she's focused her songwriting there. She's got a really rich voice, and she has a real classic pop songwriter's approach. So check it out. A song called Circles from Sophie Curran here at 25 o'clock.
Kept it in for so long, I forgot how to breathe after all that went down, and how I wish I could complete. Lost in a little slice of hell, stuck inside your spell, going round and round and round. And I always miss the mark, I'm lost without your spark, going round and round and round. Now we're swimming in circles with no place to go, always clawing at the surface to the great unknown, like we always try to do this silly dance, to give ourselves a chance to catch our breath. I'm just trying not to drown. Scared to speak the wrong word,
wants to occupy all that's wrong, but it's a cold heart beating in and out of time. Places that would drive you full. They taste the living, they taste the living till you're through. Oh, how we forget, oh, how we forget like sun spilling out from our eyes. We want to want, we want to want that I've done to turn surprise. There was something you wanted to say. There's something we used to sing. We were afraid. There's a story preaching in your head. It tells you where your freedom lies, out beyond the way across next time. Reasons slip into the bliss of burning nights in unconsciousness. Revolts of angels keeping you for a while. There are the places that would drive you full. They taste the living, they taste the living till you're through. Oh, how we forget, oh, how we forget like sun spilling out from our eyes. We want and want, we want and want that I've done to turn There was something you wanted to say. There was something we used to sing. We are afraid. There was something you wanted to say. There's something you wanted to sing. There's something you wanted to say. You are afraid.
Music from Rise Twain right there. That's a song called Lit Up from their album, self-titled. Came out late last fall. Rise Twain is Brett William Call, who's an acclaimed producer, and he was a member of bands like Echo Lynn and Grey Eyed Glances, and he's played with Francis Dunnery. And J.D. Beck of Beck Fields and the Scenic Route. and they created a really powerful rock record. I love it a lot. I had them on the show, and they were great to talk to. And the two of them together in the studio was really what inspired to make this record, them working together, bouncing ideas off each other, building this record. Like I said, came out late 2019, and check them out. There was a great episode, great conversation with them. They were one of the last people I had in before going into sort of pandemic shutdown hibernation here. So I look and think fondly back on that conversation. And before that, Sophie Karan with a song called Circles. As I listened to it again this time, and I've listened to it a bunch of times, I realized I think I was part of the songwriter circle where she debuted that song for the first time, an early demo version. There's a certain line in there that I was like, oh yeah, that was the writing exercise right there. So it's really great to hear that song kind of laid out in full. Next up, what I want to play for you, something pretty cool, actually. Not all of this is cool, but this is really, really cool. It's by a group called Bison's Big Bang, and that's the project of Brian Blaker, who's a saxophonist, and he was a longtime part of the Philly music scene until recently when he moved to the coast of Portugal. And it was only a matter of time before he got a band going over there too, and so this is the Portuguese lineup of Bison's Big Bang. It features Antonio Pedro Neves on guitar, Nuno Campos on bass, and Miguel Sampaio on drums. And this is a live cut taken from a performance that they did back in early January, and it just has the coolest like live jazz room vibe to it, just like a really good sounding live bootleg from the 50s or 60s. I really, really dig the aesthetic of it, and that's something I really love about old recorded jazz performances. So this is a song called Climbing, live from January 2020 from Bison's Big Bang here on 25 O'Clock. That's a song called Climbing from Bison's Big Bang, the Portuguese lineup of Bison's Big Bang, project by former Philadelphia musician extraordinaire Brian Blaker. Great, great tune right there. Got one more, and then I'm going to leave you all. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this reconstructed radio playlist that I resurrected from the ashes of me losing the original live stream files, which, like I said at the top of the show, ain't something to cry over. It was fun for all of us who got to check it out when it happened, but I think this is much more in my wheelhouse and much more playing to my strengths than me trying to juggle 17 different windows on my laptop and make a live radio show out of it. I know how to do this, what I'm doing right now. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, whenever I do one of these, I'm going to, in the posting on 25o'clockpod.com, I'm going to list all the bands and artists and links to check them out. So be sure to do that. Go to the post for this episode at 25o'clockpod.com. It's live radio stream number 2, Redux. And check out all the bands and artists on there. Click away, give them love, buy their stuff, be nice to them. You can do all that at 25o'clockpod.com, as well as all the other things. You can check out the old episodes and go to the Friends and Neighbors page and find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that. You can do all that. But yeah, let me leave you with this tune from a group called the Barrel Fires, fronted by a guy named Jay Carlos. I met him at the Robert Hunter tribute at the Ardmore Music Hall way back in January, back when we could play shows. And he and I bonded instantly over our sheer nervousness of there being so many people in the room. Both of us played very early in the night, and neither of us were expecting the number of people who were there. This is a great tune. It's called One Day I Woke to the American Dream. He put it out as a single. It's got that like great heartland Americana folk rock spirit to it, but it's certainly not a nostalgia piece, and it's not, saccharine or oversimplified. I like it very much. It's a story of people being let down, and I think all of us can identify with a little bit of that right now. So let's hear it. The Barrel Fires, One Day I Woke to the American Dream, here on 25 o'clock. My name is Dan Drago. Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Pictures on the windowsill unfolding to the past. Children of the Great War, soldiers pressed in glass. I was born in Indiana, in the shadow of the smokestacks. Followed my father to the lines, and it nearly broke my back. But there were blue ribbons on the weekend, sweet corn off the cob. They were golden days before the bankers shipped our jobs away. One day I woke to the American dream, and it's not me, Lord, it's not me. Curtains open in the morning on the streets of West Baltimore, where there's bars in the windows of every corner store. Granddad came north from Raleigh on the tracks of a dream. He had no idea how good his little girls would have to be. These babies I'm raising, gonna be boys on the block. The law won't protect them, I just pray they get up and walk away. One day I woke to the American dream, and it's not me, Lord, it's not me. Stepping off the elevator of a San Jose high-rise. Most people don't think a sea of cubicles is paradise. Got my papers and left Karachi in 1993. Took some time getting used to moaning prayers to the east. I broke the world wide open, taught your kids to write the code. Now I'm worried about the anger that's threatening to close the gates. One day I woke to the American dream. It's not me, Lord. One day I woke to the American dream. It's not me, Lord, it's not me. rich keep getting richer behind smoke screens of fear, while most of us are barely scraping by from year to year. I'm thinking about our children, trying to figure out what it means. I'm talking about the faces of these new